Hello everyone, and welcome to Just Bach. My name is Charlie Rasmussen, and I'm the president of the board and also the instrumental director of this concert series. We are delighted to have Sean Kleve here performing a solo harpsichord recital. Similar to other Just Bach concerts, we will have a sing-along chorale at the end of the program, and Ryne Cherry, our vocal director, and I will be joining Sean to help lead everybody through that. You can find the music for that in the program. We would like to say a special thank you to Dane Arts for their continued support of the series, and also thank you to Luther Memorial for hosting these concerts. We'd also like to say a special thank you to WORT for promoting our concerts, and if you like what you hear on this series, I would recommend listening to their Musica Antigua series, which airs on Sunday morning, and Alan Muirhead, one of our board members, is also, he hosts that show every few weeks. The next Just Bach concert is going to be on December 6th, and it's going to be a concert featuring music by Bach's contemporaries, Buxtehude and Allemande primarily. So at this point I'm going to introduce Sean, and he will talk a little bit about his program. Actually, before I do that, I just wanted to say that you can visit our website, justbach.org, to see information about our spring concerts. And while Just Bach is committed to keeping these concerts free, we would urge you to think about what a ticket might cost as you consider donation. You can donate cash in the back. You can also go to our website to make a tax-deductible donation. Without further ado, Sean Kleve.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here right now and excited to share my music with you. I'd like to just take a quick moment to thank Just Bach and Charlie Rasmussen, and also the Luther Memorial Church for having me here today. So a few words about the program that I've selected. I'm going to start with two Preludes and Fugues from the Well-Tempered Clavier Book 1. These works are a little bit of a musical appetizer. The Preludes and Fugues, while they are massive in their weight, as far as their importance in keyboard repertoire, are rather short. And so, to me, these pieces, they read a little bit more like short poems or short little Bible verses, and they're potent in their truth. In particular, the F major Prelude and Fugue, the reason I selected this one to start the program with, is going to sort of bookend with the end of the E minor English suite. Bach's fugues and the Preludes and Fugues, they often sound quite a bit like dances. And the dance movements of the English suite often sound like fugues. Bach really can't quite make up his mind. So the Prelude and Fugue in F major, the fugue itself ends with rather quite a fast and lively Gigue type style, which we'll hear at the end of the English suite as well, at the end of the program. But the musical affect of E minor versus F major couldn't be further on the opposite ends of the spectrum. The D major Prelude and Fugue is something of a march. D major is the key of Handel's Messiah, the Hallelujah chorus in particular. And so you can really hear in the D major, I think in the fugue, the kind of trumpets and drums. It kind of starts with the drum roll, and it's off to the races after that. Big chords, big fanfares. The E minor English suite is one of my favorite compositions of Bach of all time. I've spent many years listening to recordings of it, and it's sort of a joy for me to share it with you. I kind of can't believe I'm going to go up and play it after all these years of listening to it. The Prelude starts off with a bang. It's sort of a perpetual motion, kind of fugue-like, kind of not, sort of like the opening of a concerto movement that you would expect in a concerto grosso. The Allemande is where Bach sort of differs from a lot of composers of the Baroque era. It doesn't really sound much like an Allemande. Bach, in the English suites in particular, instead of featuring the sort of standard Allemande rhythms, which are usually a slow 4/4 with syncopated rhythms, D, dum, bum, badim, badim, he instead saturates the texture with 16th notes in both hands, making more of an intimate conversation between two partners at 3 in the morning. Then we go on to the Courante, which is in the French style of a Courante, which is a very slow dance in 3, but very masculine and heavy and full of trills and lively ornaments. The Sarabande is Bach at his most ancient. Bach is often looking to the past as well for his inspiration, so I feel like you hear a little hint of Frescobaldi and perhaps some of his older masters that he's looking to here. The Passepied is a fast dance in 3. The Passepied 2 suddenly slams into E major for an extended period of time and sounds more like perhaps his children singing in the park, enjoying a picnic, which he used to often do. So it's like the little boy choir coming out for a moment. And then we end with a devilish Gigue, which is the opposite of what we heard from the F major, but still uses a lot of the same counterpoint ideas. The Gigue, I like to imagine, is something of maybe that painting the Garden of Earthly Delights, if you imagine. Sort of, well, this is what might happen if you stop going to church. So anyway, that's my take on it. I'd be interested to hear yours. The instrument that I brought today is a single manual Italian harpsichord built by David Sutherland. The instrument, Bach likely played on instruments like this in his day. He only wrote a few compositions that we know of that were written for a double manual harpsichord, which means 2 keyboards instead of 1. But most of the music of this day was probably played on single manual harpsichords. I do have 2 sets of strings on it, so you'll see me probably changing the sound settings by turning on and off a set of strings. The sound is subtle in its difference. It's not going to be some monumentally huge change, but it does change the sweetness and the intensity of the sound from time to time. So with that being said, I'm going to jump into the program now. Enjoy.
So now we'll move on to our chorale. This is from BWV 70. Freu, dich, sehr, meine, Seele. I will read through the German, and then we will perform the chorale once. We will then do it again, and please join us on the second time through. Okay, the German text is Freu dich sehr, o meine Seele, und vergiss alle Not und Qual, weil dich nun Christus, dein Herr, ruft aus diesem Jammertal. Seine Freud und Herrlichkeit sollt du sehen in Ewigkeit, mit den Engeln jubilieren, in Ewigkeit triumphieren. Can I get a G? Freu